What's going on, everybody? This is Super Robot Ed, and we need to talk about the current Titan class. Um, it's been now how many years since Triptychon's been released? About approximately 7 or 8, and Fort Max is about going into a decade. Now, of course, we're hearing rumors of Metroplex, and hopefully, we will get Metroplex. But HASBRO, we need to talk. And you kind of piss me off with this. And no offense, I'm glad we're getting Triptychon. And I know a lot of people, well, Triptychon shouldn't be remolded. He's probably one of the ones that may not really need to be remolded or anything like that, to be honest with you, because he's a dinosaur. I think he does have feet swivel, but the other two, especially Fort Max and Metroplex, they need to be retooled. And Fort Max just came out. They just took Fort Max and just reissued him straight up. No recolor, no repaint, no addition, no nothing. And that kind of hurt me because I'm sitting there like, so I know y'all want to save money, Hasbro. I know that. I get that. But you mean to tell me you couldn't retool the legs to have like feet swivel? Why not retool the crotch plate? That's actually the opposite of Metroplex, Titan's Metroplex, and fix the legs. It's horrible when you stand him up. You can't stand him up in an A stance. And if you try to stand him up straight up, if you don't have the legs properly aligned, he falls over. And I'm talking about standing him on the ground. Now, I know the Takara version is better. I'm not sure about the SDCC version, but he needed to be redone. If they weren't going to do the whole thing, at least use the body and just maybe retool some things. But it's the same exact Titans Return down to that plastic quality that was there during Combiner Wars, Titans Return, and parts of Thrilling 30 with that thin, cheap plastic that they were using on some of the figures. Facts. You can get mad at me if you want. I still got them. And I have, a lot of my Titans Return on the shelf because I love the Headmasters. But that quality of the plastic is just not up to stuff to a current Titan. Scorponok is Earthrise Scorponok is a worldly huge difference from him to that of Fortress Maximus. And yes, I'm talking about the reissue. I have it. I think they might have fixed it late, but it's not up to par. And if you're gonna alienate one Titan for another because you want to save money, then just don't release the damn thing. I mean, I got the Titans Return Fortress Maximus because hell, even Fortress Maximus, the American, the HASBRO version costs now $250 before they reissued this one or more. And trying to get the LG31 Legends version of Fortress Maximus and missing out on Grand Maximus, you are going to pay through the nose because they did tighten the leg joints on there. That's at least one thing I will say about the Takara versions. But with the HASBRO version, they just straight reissued the Titans Return. They didn't even put them in a new box. They didn't bother to say, hey, let's take some of it back to the drawing board, maybe to give, the consumers what they want. And being that Titans Return and the old Titans actually went on these insanely huge discounts, that lets me know that the quality, the plastic, the density is nowhere near that of the current Titans. So we have a disparity, and now we're stuck because Hasbro is not going to make new ones with the ones that we have. And it sucks because, I'm just going to say this. Yes, that Fort Max, I'm glad I have him. But if I didn't get him, I would not really care. That's how I feel about the figure compared to, and when you hold them, yes, he is bigger than Scorponok, but boy, Scorponok, the plastic quality, the feet swivel, the articulation, it's a world of difference. And I think that Hasbro should have not released, just say, hey, we'll give you Fort Max, and didn't even bother to do anything with it. At least with Triptychon, we're going to get, dark, like the darker colors and whatnot. And I think Full Tilt or a few other, it's not even remolding. All he did was just take clear plastic and make it solid plastic. It's not remolding. It's just changing plastic. It's not a remold. It's the same figure. Just, with a nice coat of paint and a different color, Full Tilt or whatever. So if we're going to get the older Titans to be that way, they're going to be hugely inaccurate in a way too, because now you're talking about lesser articulation, less stability, I mean, so much of that compared to when even Scorponok, as big as it is, the one thing I'll say about him, Omega Supreme, any of the Titans that I have, when you are able to tilt those feet and set them down, they stand up well. You know what I'm saying? It's a peace of mind knowing that when I stand it up, it's not going to fall back. And like I said, even Titans Return, not Titans Return, but Power to Prime's Predaking, and you set him down because he has feet swivel, he stands up well. So all I'm saying is, I really wish instead of them just reissuing Titans Return and then upcharging us, base it on inflation and whatnot, I really wish they had just did something else with it. It would have been worth it to do so. And that scares me if we get Metroplex. Is it going to be the same thing? Because now you're going back to a 2013 mold, which is in itself inferior. But because of the fact that we can't get the toy, we're going to wind up wanting it because we couldn't get it, or we don't want to overpay, for the prices that they are now. It is what it is. I'm not. I ain't paying $500 for Metroplex for what it's worth. No, I'm sorry. I can't do it. I won't do it. If I'll spend that much, I'd rather go and get Make Toys. With I forgot what they call it, City Thing or whatever, and get that for a decent price versus fighting it to get the actual Hasbro or even Takara version for that matter. So Hasbro, really, you should not have put your Titan class in this old versus new standard. I think it would have been best if you had done a little more to give us, especially with Fortress Maximus, and if you're possibly going to do Metroplex down the line. I mean, and it would also hurt if you take Metroplex and give him more than you gave Fort Max, because now we got this, Fort Max is going to probably be the worst one of your releases. And you know that, Hasbro. That's why you did what you did with Trypticon. But anyway, how do you feel about it? Do you feel that all Titans are the same? Or do you feel that when we jump from the old into the War for Cybertron trilogy and beyond, that we actually got a better mold? Personally, I think Titans in the later category, starting with Siege on up, are far superior than what we got back in the days. What people have been fighting for, what people are still paying high dollar for figures that are now inferior to their new versions, and we're doing it because Hasbro obsolescence in not making newer molds, or at least trying to fix what they have. Like I said, if you're with it, you're with it. If you're not, you're not. This is not one for me to argue with you. It's 50-50 for me. I still have these toys. I still bought the reissue of Fort Max. I'm just stating what it is. All right? That is all. Super Robot Ed, bringing more news and reviews to them. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.